My childhood best friend is in town, Kamiko. Before she heads back to New York, I'm making her meat lovers quiche because we both love meat, we both love eggs, and we both love cheese. So I have one store-bought pie crust. I'm just gonna mold my crust down into the pan. I have some pie weights here and parchment paper. I like to par bake my crust first because if I was just to put the eggs and the meat in there right now, that crust wouldn't bake. So I have to bake it first in the oven. The pie weights help the crust stay nice and intact inside the dish. Otherwise, it'll just puff up when you put it in the oven. And I have my oven preheated to 375. My pie crust is gonna be in there for about 10 minutes. So while that goes, I'm gonna get started on my meat. I have 4 slices of bacon here. I'm gonna render it on down. I'm flipping my bacon. While that side cooks, let me take my pie crust out of the oven and take those weights off. I'm gonna pop this back in the oven and let it cook and brown for about 5 more minutes. I think my bacon should be done. I'm not gonna empty this pan. I'm gonna add my country sausage right to the rendered fat from the bacon. Before I take this off the heat, let me grab my pie crust. That's done. All right, okay. Now I'm gonna build this quiche. I'm gonna cut up some green onions. I have 6 eggs here. I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of half and half. If you don't have half and half, you can use whole milk. That half and half is gonna get it really nice and fluffy. I'm gonna do a heavy pinch of my house seasoning. Got sweet paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. I'm gonna add my green onion as well. Give it a whisk. Now I'm gonna grate 4 ounces of white cheddar. And I love using cheddar cheese because it goes really well with the saltiness of all my breakfast sausages. I'm gonna put it right into my egg and green onion mixture. I'm gonna give it another whisk. All right, let's build. I'm gonna put my country ham down, which is basically just smoked ham. Got my strips of bacon here, I'm gonna crumble up. Last but not least, my country breakfast sausage. It smells really good, my stomach is growling. Now, just pour the egg and cheese mixture right on top. And this is gonna be incredible. Smooth it out. All right, I'm gonna pop this in there and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes or until the eggs are set. I think my meat lover's quiche is ready to come out of the oven. I can tell it's gonna be nice and cheesy, and look at the brown on the crust. That's my favorite part of the quiche, the cheese and the crust. To make these cheesy baked eggs, I'm gonna use mustard greens. Mustard greens don't get a lot of love. Are they bitter? Yes. It has a mustardy taste, and it's really, really peppery. So what the mustard green is gonna do is just gonna give this dish a nice little kick. You can always use something like collard greens. You can add field greens. And then I'm gonna smash and mince 1 clove of garlic to saute with the greens and a little butter. And this dish is super, super easy. Just gonna put my garlic right on top. This is a cheesy baked egg. So of course I'm using lots of eggs, a dozen. I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of milk, 2 cups of hand shredded sharp cheddar. That's gonna add that bite to it. And I have 2 cups of Monterey Jack, which is really, really melty. It will just smooth it out and make it nice and mellow. And hash browns, because it's all the elements of breakfast in one dish. 1/2 cup baking mix, and baking mix is gonna help it get nice and fluffy because it has the baking soda, the baking powder. A few pinches of kosher salt and cracked black pepper. Just wanna make sure all of the yolk is broken up. So that's done. I need to saute the garlic and the greens, kind of release some of those flavors and counteract that bitterness. Add it to my baking dish with the eggs and cheese, put it in the oven, and that's it. My skillet is nice and hot. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm using unsalted butter because I've already salted my egg and cheese mixture. I don't want to add any more salt from the butter. Ooh, garlic and butter just wakes up your senses. So I'm doing a quick saute on the greens and the garlic because it unlocks the flavor. I want a lot of that flavor to come through in the baking dish. Dump it right into the eggs and cheese. Smells amazing. I have a 9x13 baking dish here that I've buttered to make sure that when it's done baking, it comes out easily. I'm gonna pour that right in there. Not only does the mustard green give it a nice little spicy kick, but it also adds color. And the baking mix that I added is gonna make it nice and airy. I have my oven preheated to 350. I'm gonna let this bake uncovered for about 45 to 50 minutes. Oh, wow, that is gorgeous. It's puffed up, it's nice and airy, and I can tell the way the cheese is melted that it's gonna be super cheesy and gooey. Our omelet bar. All right, guys, so got some ham here, got some onion, some mushrooms, I think those are bellas, diced red peppers, some bell pepper, some scallions, some shrimp, some blue crab meat, cheddar, and Havarti cheese.
I'm gonna go with E, all of the above. Just mix it up, a little fiesta.
Little fiesta, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want everything. I want to get the diced ham,
Okay.
the crab meat, shrimp, and mushrooms for me.
Oh.
And some cheese.
Okay.
What kind of
I'll
cheese?
get cheddar.
So I like to do a dozen eggs in a bowl. I want to put about a half a cup of milk.
Ooh, that's a secret?
That's how I get my eggs fluffy.
Wow.
Milk. A little pinch of salt and some cracked black pepper. Whisk it on up. This is how my mom taught me how to build an omelet. You cook down your ingredients first with a little oil and butter. I'm gonna put my egg mixture in here, add the ingredients on top of the egg mixture, fold it over, boom, you got an omelet. I wanna make Belicia's first since she's pretty easy. She wants everything.
I do.
Really? I got you. The shrimp is already cooked. The crab meat is already cooked. What I want to do is cook down the vegetables first. I need to put the mushrooms in here right now as well because I need some of that moisture to come out the mushrooms. All right, I'm gonna hit it with some salt. The mushrooms have cooked down. Some of that moisture has come out of the mushrooms. Now it's time to add Felicia's seafood. A little crab meat, a lot of crab meat. I'm gonna get my pot hot tablespoon of butter and oil. I like to put a lot of oil and fat in my pan before I make my omelets because you don't want it to stick. My mom showed me this trick when making omelets.
What's the trick?
Come on,
Me too?
both of y'all.
Oh.
You get your omelet, you push. You see it's starting to cook on the edges. Push it up. All the uncooked part of the egg is just gonna,
Right.
And I like to do that because I need it to be cooked all the way through.
Yes.
I'm good.
All right.
I just wanna show you, that's the important part of it.
Gotcha.
Then you fill it. Put it on one side of the omelet. Okay. Take it off the heat. Fold. Fold. Because we put all that oil and stuff in there, slides right out. Felicia!
That's me.
Order up.
All right.
Order up.
Thank you.
Ooh,
that
yum.
smells so good.
All right, all the meats, Yolanda.
I need it all.
Same process for all of these, just changing the filling.
Ooh.
Yolanda, your omelet.
Thank
Look who's here. Jamie's here. Hot the bacon.
Oh my gosh.
Glad you made it. We were afraid that you were going to like bail out because
No way.
we didn't have like celery and water. Come on.
Celebrate water.
Your omelet, Jamie.
Thank you, thank you.
We're doing a Creole cheesy breakfast skillet with andouille sausage. We got some shrimp, you know, add a little low country flair in there. Eggs and put some cheese on top, melted. Then we're gonna put this Creole sauce that my mom is making on top. So I got some mayonnaise in there. I need you to add some Worcestershire, say Worcestershire.
Some brown sauce.
Some Worcestershire sauce. Got some hot sauce, got some sweet paprika, got more of that Creole seasoning.
Okay.
Got a little garlic, got some chives. I cut up some dill pickles in there. We got some Creole mustard.
Just mix it up together.
Mix them up. I am just roughly chopping a half of a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper.
Oh, that's good.
Let me be the judge.
I think I might put a little more of that in it.
Little Creole mustard.
What do you think? Make you want to dance.
Ooh.
What I always say, when
I
I'm
told
cooking,
you.
have that music on. Huh? Make you put your foot in it.
All right. Well, that's good. While I go over here and get the veggies sauteed, I need you to crack 6 eggs and add that milk to it and whisk it up.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So I have a cast iron skillet here that's really hot. So I'm gonna add some butter. And this is a well-seasoned cast iron skillet. I mean, so if I were to put anything in there, it wouldn't stick anyway, but just like to add a little bit of fat to it. Add my onion and pepper. I'm just gonna let this cook down until it gets slightly softened. I'm going to grab some of this salt from you and help release some of this moisture in the veggies. So while this sautés down, I'm gonna get started on my house seasoning. Equal parts, sweet paprika, some garlic powder, teaspoon of onion powder, a little black pepper,
Want a pinch of salt?
about a teaspoon
Okay.
of salt, yeah. Okay. Let me check on my veggies.
Okay.
You know what? Because I have to cook the andouille sausage, I'm gonna add that in there right now too. We use sausage a lot in our recipes in the Gullah community. We use a smoked sausage, which is just pretty much similar, just andouille sausage is a little bit more spicy. Can you do me a favor? Can you put some of that house seasoning on the shrimp?
Sure.
You want that flavor in every bite. So when you bite into the sausage, it's like a burst of flavor. When you bite into the shrimp, it's gonna be a burst of flavor. And I'm just cooking this until the sausage gets a little brown. Okay, so that looks great. Let's add the shrimp now.
When I say it smells so good, I can't wait.
Is it saying something to you?
Ooh, it's like, oh, eat me.
These are medium-sized shrimp, so it's gonna take about 3 to 4 minutes until it turns opaque. Adding in my clove of garlic. The shrimp look just about done. Pour the eggs in.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn the heat down. The thing about eggs, you don't have to cook them on high heat. Just fold it in. You want more big, fluffy clouds than overly scrambled eggs. That's one thing I can't stand. Overly scrambled egg. Let's turn the heat off. Take the cheese.
What kind of cheese is that?
White cheddar. All right, so I have my oven set to broil. Just wanna pop this in here for a few seconds until the cheese melts.
Yeah, I see the cheese melting.
Ooh, Ma, look at that.
How pretty is that?
Drizzle it with a little bit of this Creole sauce.
Oh,
Put some of the green onion on top.
okay. How pretty is that?
I'm making breakfast for dinner like Mom used to do for me. But I'm taking this one up a notch. Steak and eggs. I'm gonna do this porcini crusted ribeye with this beautiful fat cap on here. It's marbled. It is gonna be absolutely juicy. So I'm gonna get started on my rub that's gonna go on the outside of my ribeye. Okay, you know I gotta add my house seasoning. That's paprika, salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of that to my food processor. I'm gonna add some dry porcini mushrooms. It's very earthy. It has a natural umami. All right, so I'm just gonna pulverize this and get it nice and fine. So I'm gonna take my spice blend right here, my porcini mushrooms, and what I like to do is put a little soy sauce, and that's gonna give it some of that same natural umami that's inside of mushrooms. I like to put a little balsamic on both sides as well. I like to add balsamic on there because it gives it some sweetness, a little tang. Lay it flat, make sure you press down, and flip it over. You see how nice and crusty that is now? Ribeye is my favorite cut of meat. It has the perfect amount of marbled fat throughout it. The bone in, of course, because the bone in adds more flavor. And right before I add the steak inside my cast iron skillet here, I'm gonna hit it with a little salt and pepper, just enhance everything that I've already done. A little butter. I wanna add a really nice amount of butter to my hot skillet. Now, the reason why I'm adding so much butter, and you're like, oh, that's a lot of butter. I'm gonna baste the steak in the butter, a little rosemary, You're infusing the butter with flavor. The flavor from the steak, the flavor from the garlic, the flavor from the rosemary, a little extra salt, a little pepper. I want to put this down first, this side down, because I did salt and pepper on that. I want to make sure I get a nice sear on both sides, so you need high heat to do that. If you like medium to medium well, that's anywhere between 140 and 150 degrees. It's going to take about 6 minutes for that side to cook. And while that's cooking, I'm going to get started on my fried egg. I want to get some of this butter, and I'm going to do it sunny side up. And that yolk is going to also act as a sauce for the steak. While that butter is melting, I'm going to flip this beautiful piece of steak. I'm going to baste this side as well, get that flavor, that infused butter. Okay, now back to the egg. The eggs are sunny side up. What I like to do is cook that egg white and leave the middle of the yolk nice and runny. Add a little salt and more black pepper. All right, so my eggs are perfect. I'm just gonna slide this right onto the plate. All right, so I'm gonna let this chill out over here and check on my steak. And I'm doing the poke test. If it has a lot of bounce back, that means it's still pretty much rare in the center. So I want a little firmness. I think this is pretty done. Get my cutting board here, my chopping block, and let it rest. When it rests, it allows the juices to return to the meat. If you cut it right now, all of the juices will just release and you'll have a very dry steak. So it's important to let your steak rest. And while that rests, let me get my eggs in a platter to serve this on. All right, so there is a technique to cutting a really great steak. You wanna make sure that you cut against the grain. Slightly pink in the center, nice and charred on the outside. Oh my gosh, smells good. And you see how juicy it is? A little dark on the outside, the center is pink, it's juicy, it's crusty, it's gonna melt in our mouths. As a matter of fact, ooh-wee. So I'm gonna put this on my serving platter, add the eggs, and there you have it. Steak and eggs for dinner.